So, I recently just watched the new Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie that just came out on Disney Plus, and it was the complete opposite of what I was hoping it would be. Now, before I review this, let me just say this right now. I love all the three original Wimpy Kid movies. The first one, Roderick Rules, and Dog Days. We are not counting Long Haul because reasons. Let me just say this right now. I love all these three movies. They are all classics, and they're just overall just good adaptations of all the three books. Now, I did read the first book all over again just so I can see this movie. And when I first saw the teaser, I was just very excited for this movie. But then after watching it, I am very disappointed, and I'm going to explain why. First of all, they removed a lot of things from the first book. Like, there's no wrestling, there's none of the school play of The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, it's mentioned, but never shown. There's none of the Plan haunted house that was made by Greg and Rowley. And for some reason, they took out the safety patrol things in the first book, which was such a big, huge, important part of the book, especially for the movie, because it was the reason why Greg and Rowley stopped becoming friends. And what's worse is that they ruined both Greg and Rowley's personality. Greg is not Greg anymore. Greg in the first book and in the first movie wanted to become rich and famous when he grows up. But instead in this movie, they make him more likable instead of him being a huge jerk to Rowley, which is a change that I just don't like. Also, another change that I don't like about Greg is to how Roderick tells Greg to change Rowley's personality, which in the book and in the movie, Greg was the one who actually wanted to change Rowley's personality. So honestly, Greg is just this nice, likable kid in this film, which is not Greg at all. Also, speaking of Rowley is kind of more of the jerk in this movie. Seriously. Like, in this movie, Greg is actually the one who made Zooey Mama, despite the fact it was actually Rowley in, the book. And honestly, I feel like Rowley is such a big jerk because, and the reason why I say this is because, he steals Greg's idea and never gives Greg credit for it. Like, at all. He just becomes famous because of it, and he never really says that it was actually Greg who made Zooey Mama, which just makes him such an unlikable character in this film in the first place. Also, Roderick in this movie only appears for like 3 minutes to just give information to Greg, and that's really about it, which is kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I couldn't complain that much, since Roderick actually acts like Roderick. Also, Patty is not in this movie at all. The only character that has not been in the books for that long is Junarg. I hope I'm saying his name right. But, for some reason they decided to keep him in, but not Patty for some reason. Anyways, the only thing that they really keep in for this movie is the Halloween chase, which is much more different than how it was in the book and movie. And I know that I am just comparing these two movies together, especially the book, but at the same time, it's like the best example I can show to how poorly this movie does at being a adaptation in the first place. Now, when I first saw the teaser for this movie, I was actually very excited because it reminded me a lot of the Peanuts movie. And because of that, I was expecting this to be like a 2D movie, also mixed in with 3D, like the Peanuts movie. But instead, it was kind of more like Captain Underpants. That's not a bad thing. I mean, yeah, the animation gets time to get used to, but at the same time, because of that, some characters can look very weird or off-putting in the background. And yeah. And here's the thing, the reason why Captain Underpants works pretty well is because those characters could actually work in 3D. But Diary of a Wimpy Kid had some very kind of like ugly type of characters with big noses and big lips and stuff like that, and it's kind of hard to get used to with a style like that being in full-on CGI. Overall, this movie was just mediocre and disappointing. I actually was hoping for this movie to be a comeback for more better Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies to come, but sadly, this just wasn't it. If you read the first book and watched the first movie, then you have no reason to really watch this movie whatsoever. But overall, I give this movie a 5 out of 10. But it is better than The Long Haul. That's definitely one thing for sure. Well, I don't think they're gonna make any more Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies anymore.